Magic is a verb. It's active. It's a means of accomplishing an end. The core of magic can be boiled down to one word: action. Hello, and welcome to another lore video on Mage the Ascension. In the last video, we talked about the fragile path each mage must walk upon, and in this video, we'll talk about what magic is and how each mage can use it. So what sorts of things can magic do? As we've discussed in previous videos, mages are agents of change, reshaping their reality on a large scale. Awakened ones can call down lightning, look through time, manipulate the elements, transmute objects, and even create life. In the most basic terms, mages can perform miracles. Of course, with such large feats comes equally great consequences. When a mage wills a change, other things shift beyond their control, so a large part of magic is having the wisdom to know what to change, how to change it, when not to change it, and how to prepare for the consequences. And what do those consequences look like? Well, it depends. Mages can go insane, disappear, or even explode. The bigger the changes, the bigger the risks. When a mage gambles big, they can lose big. A mage has to learn how to, and how not to, make choices. Awakened ones learn how to change reality to suit their needs, and in doing so, they wrap themselves in the paradox of two realities at the same time, and eventually, one of them will have to give. Ideally, the reality that triumphs is the one created by the mage. Awakened ones tend to call this problem the paradox effect, or simply paradox. Paradox is the collective force of consensual reality fighting back against the enlightened will of the mage. There are a million metaphysical explanations for what it is, why it works, and what awakened ones can do to get around it. But in the simplest terms, paradox is what happens when two visions of reality exist in the same place at the same time until one of them gives up. In practical terms, paradox is the only thing that stands between a mage and ruling the world. The world is a dark and unbelieving place, and most mortals cannot or will not accept anything outside of their normal expectations. This is where a lot of those consequences come into play. For whatever reason, paradox puts a face on reality's displeasure. Sometimes that face is literal. The paradox spirits born of the paradox, are formed from the collective beliefs of humanity and often take on physical manifestations related to the events that triggered them. A mage cursed for throwing a fireball, for example, might find themselves hounded by smoldering fire imps or tormented by smoke creatures. Some aspects of the paradox effect are a bit more subtle and can manifest as something mages call resonance. Resonance is the constant current of the awakened soul's desires against the static reality, also known as the reality created by the sleepers. If one thinks of an act of magic as a drumstick hitting a cymbal, then resonance is that fading vibration after the initial crash dies down. Resonance follows a mage in the wake of all they do, echoing the intentions and emotions behind their magic. The resonance often creates their own strange sense of reality disruption. A fire mage, for example, might have uncomfortably warm skin, or perpetually smell faintly of smoke. Resonance is often considered to be a minor manifestation of the paradox effect, and yet it can make things difficult when a mage wants to stay low-key and remain hidden, but their resonance echoes all around them. Another type of resonance effect is called synergy. With synergy, the echo comes off an external source, a haunted house for example, and bounces off the mage, becoming part of their metaphysical vibrations. As I've said in other parts, when you change the world can also change you. So why would mages mess with reality at all, knowing the backlash that may wait for them from the paradox? It can be simplified to no risk, no reward. Unless awakened ones tempt paradox, they cannot unlock their true potential. Being too safe gets a mage nowhere. One cannot be that daring without also being full of pride, without a certain sense that one is better than an average person, a feeling that the things one does should matter. One cannot do magic and create change. Simply, one must be proud to be a mage. Awakened ones have to see themselves as smart enough, brave enough, knowledgeable, and wise enough to be worthy of the advantage life has given to them and of the advantages they make in life. Magic is the key to a mage's universe, and pride can open doors that most don't even see. At the heart of pride and magic is will. Will signifies intention, goodness, excellence, and reflects a mage's determination to make things happen. When a mage gets careless with will, pride, and magic, that is what they call hubris, the overwhelming, fatal pride that leads to destruction. The Ascension War is what happens when a lot of mages get so full of themselves that they decide to remake the world in their own image. Cyborgs wind up stalking through the night, mad scientists create monstrosities, witches curse their enemies until flesh slides off their bones. Mages dance a fine line between pride and hubris, between the will to power and the power to destroy, and the paradox of doing both for what looks like all the right reasons. And yet power is intoxicating. Magic is power, and that power scares people. It's not easy being a mage, but for awakened ones, it is better to burn bright than to forever smolder in the darkness, wondering what could have been. In the next Mage the Ascension lore video, we'll go more in depth into what it is mages do with such power. Remember, awakened ones, reality is what you make of it.